The search for new oil may be even more hazardous to our health than first thought. A study by Stanford scientists found energy companies who are fracking for oil are doing it in shallow grounds and oftentimes through underground sources of drinking water. Fracking is essentially when a mixture of sand, water, and chemicals are blasted through layers of rock looking for oil. And here in San Diego, dozens of protesters urged the California Coastal Commission to stop offshore fracking. They wore hazmat suits to highlight what they say are the dangers of dumping fracking chemicals into the ocean. But supporters continue insisting that the process is safe.
Offshore fracking is an inherently dangerous process that uses toxic chemicals known to cause cancer, with vast amounts of water pumped underground, shattering the ocean floor. We know the only way to keep California's coasts and Californians safe is to stop the practice now.
Hydraulic fracturing has been used for more than 60 years. It's been extensively regulated. It's been extensively studied. And everyone from federal regulators to state regulators, including right here in California, Governor Brown, the Division of Oil and Gas, have all confirmed that it's a fundamentally safe process with manageable risks.
And again, the chief argument against fracking is that it will contaminate our drinking water.
Protesters in hazmat suits took to the streets today just outside the Catamaran Resort, urging the California Coastal Commission to halt offshore fracking off our coast. The commission is holding a 4-day meeting there. On today's agenda was a 40-year plan to handle growing transportation needs along the North County coast. San Diego 350, a local grassroots organization, however, wanted to raise awareness about fracking, a process that uses toxic chemicals at high pressures with drilling to force oil out of difficult-to-reach spots.
But we know our oceans are already suffering, and we can't make that problem worse by putting highly toxic fluids into the ocean as a result of a process that's extreme extraction of fossil fuels, which is also part of the problem.
According to state regulators and some scientists across the country, the process of fracking is a fundamentally safe process with manageable risks.
Another topic up for discussion at the California Coastal Commission's 4-day meeting is offshore fracking, a process involving blasting water and toxic chemicals at high pressure to crack the seafloor to release oil and gas. Earlier today, about 20 protesters rallied against it. They're fighting for the Coastal Commission to stop oil companies from dumping fracking chemicals into the ocean, saying it will harm San Diego beaches and wildlife.
We can't play Russian roulette with California's coasts, with the livelihood of many people and the beautiful beaches that we know and love.
20 people or so came to San Diego today to protest this because they're talking about something called hydraulic fracturing, which is actually something that doesn't go on anywhere in San Diego County, just the city of San Diego. But it is something that happens across the country.
Those in favor of fracking say protesters often spread incorrect information about the process, which has been federally approved for years.
The California Coastal Commission met in San Diego today and was greeted by protesters against offshore fracking.
No more! No more! Kick those frackers out the door!
Well, you heard it. Protesters from several local groups, including the Center for Biological Protection, are urging commissioners to stop fracking. A recent study from the center found that at least 1/3 of the chemicals used in fracking or hydraulic fracturing are suspected ecological hazards.
We want the Coastal Commission to be aware that San Diegans recognize that offshore fracking is happening in our oceans and that pollution is a threat to the livelihood of San Diegans. We have wonderful beaches, pristine waters, a fishing community, a surfing community, all sorts of activities that take place on the water and beaches, and we can't afford to have them further polluted beyond what they're already threatened from.
Now, in the meantime, those in support of fracking say it helps provide more jobs and gas and oil for our nation.